Hello lovely people, welcome to Laurelin Artistry. Today's video focuses on Nicholas D. Wolfwood, a character from Trigun, which is a 90s space western anime that takes place on the harsh desert planet called Gunsmoke. Wolfwood is a priest, in quotes, who runs an orphanage, although, to make the money he needs to care for the orphans, he works as a hired gun. That gun being a huge cross-shaped rocket launcher with compartments for storing a bunch of handguns. It is quite absurd, but I think in the end it creates some beautiful imagery and symbolism when we see him knelt down at the altar of a church, confessing the weight of his sins and asking for forgiveness. So that image, which I find incredibly touching, is going to be the center point of my drawing. And to go along with the theme, I will be leaning into the stained glass look quite a bit. So, I'm drawing separate little arched windows. A wide one in the middle and narrow ones on either side. Creating all those lines to assist with the stained glass look. And now to draw a smaller Wolfwood on the left. Just gonna change the positioning of his head real quick. And on to the right, where we see him with his friend, Vash the Stampede, who is the series' protagonist, and also a pacifist outlaw. But, I hear you ask, if he's a pacifist, why does he have a gun? Well, I should clarify that he's not opposed to fighting, just taking life. He's kinda like space western Superman. Now time to color it and see if I can achieve a stained glass effect. Gonna give him a little tear. Adjust my drawing on the left a bit. And then go back to what I was doing. I'm making the highlights pink and purple because the whole church has a soft pastel lighting, a welcoming contrast to the coarse sandy tones we get throughout most of the show. Color in his shadow. And draw the background. White light streaming in from a window with subtle yellows and pinks. With that done, on to our drawings on the sides. Vash and Wolfwood come into conflict all throughout the show because, although they both ultimately want to help people, they have a very different philosophy on how that should be achieved. If we use the infamous trolley problem as an example, Wolfwood would definitely pull the lever to save the greater number of people, even if it meant getting his hands dirty. For him, the ends always justify the means. Whereas Vash would reject the idea of having to choose one or the other altogether, and insist that the only acceptable outcome is saving everyone. Now I'm going to add some more characters into the backgrounds. We have our insurance agents, Millie Thompson, the sweet and a bit oblivious girl who is very tall and unusually strong, and Meryl Strife, who is responsible, no nonsense, and very dedicated to her work. She also carries around a bunch of derringers in her cape. On the other side we have Legato Bluesummers, a nihilistic man who is tasked by Knives, the main antagonist, with destroying Vash. He provides a good parallel to Wolfwood because they both see the world they live in as a terrible place, full of evil and suffering. But one sees life as meaningless, the other finds meaning in protecting the innocent. Then we have Chapel the Evergreen, the man who raised Wolfwood and taught him to fight and instilled the kill or be killed type philosophy in him. Also, he kind of looks like a steampunk version of the X-Men, Cyclops. Behind the characters, I draw some skies. And some sandy, sand. And we're gonna draw a little town in this corner. And add some smoke. I was very close to just tossing this whole drawing, as I was feeling a bit unhappy with it. But I didn't have time to make another drawing this week, so I decided to stick with it and try to make it work. I draw profiles of our four main characters, Millie, Wolfwood, Vash, and Meryl. And then add the stained glass look to everything. I know it looks real overwhelming right now, but I'll lower the opacity significantly when I'm done, and it'll just be a subtle effect. And there we go. I think that's done. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll join me next time. In the meantime, remember to buy your friends some donuts. Love and peace. Ciao!